Good evening and a very warm welcome to Radio and Television Tonga news package for the hour. Making headlines, today marks the official launch of Tax Week 2022 with the theme Scaling Up Digital Transformation for a Prosperous Tonga. Tongan community in Australia donates up to 44 containers of relief packages to assist Tonga following the tornado disasters in January and is worth approximately to 5 million pa'anga. And Seattle Theological College becomes the first church in Tonga to collect 2 million pa'anga from its annual church offering events. We'll have these and more stories later on in the bulletin, including the latest sports news. Now I'm Vahafonatu Bola with the stories in detail. Hard work, sacrifice, patience and honesty is reflective of a prosperous Tonga. This is part of the acting Prime Minister Honourable Samiu Kuitavaipulu's speech to mark the official launch of Tax Week 2022 this morning. The theme for this year's Tax Week is Scaling Up Digital Transformation for a Prosperous Tonga. Alisi Tupo takes up that story.
The theme for this year's Tax Week is Scaling Up Digital Transformation for a Prosperous Tonga. In his keynote address, the acting Prime Minister Honourable Samiu Vaipulu conveyed his full support towards the Ministry of Revenue and Customs in using the latest technology and equipment for their operations and the challenges they face.
It is thus encouraging to witness the Ministry's resolve to use state-of-the-art technology to scale up digital transformation for a prosperous Tonga. Under development partners' munificent assistance, it will further enhance national sovereignty, border security, and combating illicit drugs. Furthermore, diligence, sacrifice, patience, and integrity are the foundation for economic prosperity and perpetuation in implementing our responsibilities.
Meanwhile, the Revenue and Customs CEO, Kalemedeva, has said that despite many obstacles that they face every day, it isn't a reason for the staff to withdraw from their work and objectives for the country.
The aim and purpose of this week is to weave into the approach we have to the policies and guidelines of the ministry, which are fitting for the day, and to assist people so they can feel free to dialogue as a sure sign of working together. In the past financial years, the country has affected by natural disaster due to climate change, the eruption of Tonga Ha'apai, the arrival of COVID-19, and of course the rising of prices and goods worldwide. Businesses were closed, jobs were lost, and revenue from those endeavors were not realized. But the ministry searches for ways to recovery and remedy the challenges the country faced during these difficult times. Obviously, raising the standard of work, improving processes and procedures were of course a natural path to take at this time like this.
That was followed by the explanations of the 4 major technical programs in the ministry using the latest technology. This included the electronic sales register system launched this year to be used in stores with the aim of making it more organized when raising tax rates. Next was the explanation of the e-tax technology, which submits tax information at the appropriate time because of the value of the country's currency and coins. It joins the new customs service project known as iSecura to further simplify the service to customers. This is also one of the department's key roles in ensuring that no illegal goods are imported into Tonga. A senior officer elaborated on how to use the X-ray scanners and container X-ray trucks that are more specific and secure to test cargo. Reporting for Radio and Television Tonga News, I'm Alisi Tupo.
The Tongan community in Australia donated up to 44 containers of relief packages to assist Tonga following the two natural disasters in January and is worth approximately to 5 million pa'anga. Her Royal Highness Princess Angelica Latu-Fuipeka, who is also Tonga's High Commissioner to Australia, told media on Saturday that up to 44 20-feet-long containers were shipped from Australia to Tonga following the 15th of January devastation. These containers are donated from both the Tongan communities in Australia and relevant stakeholders there. She says that the goods and baggages inside the containers include food, water, clothes, shoes and other items that are worth approximately 5 million pa'anga. Her Royal Highness says the assistance was made possible through the Bilia Tauhala Royal Project as a joint assistance of the Tongan communities from throughout Australia. She added that up to 1 million pa'anga in monetary assistance has been received by the Tongan government to assist various development recovery projects. As such, the people of Tonga are delighted with Her Royal Highness' leadership in managing the project in order to assist Tonga's recovery period from the two natural disasters that struck Tonga earlier in the year. However, Louise Waterhouse, Tonga's Honorary Consulate General in Australia, says that the Australian government, with the Health and Defence Ministry and Swire Shipping Agency, had been key partners in supplying and shipping the assistance from Australia to Tonga. The Seattle Theological College has done it again this year. The college hit the 2 million pa'anga target, another historical record of being the first church in Tonga to collect this amount of money from its annual church offering events, eclipsing their previous record last year in 2017 when they became the first church to raise 1 million pa'anga. The college collected 2.33 million pa'anga yesterday, an increase of about 600,000 pa'anga from their 1.7 million last year. The church offerings or misinale in Tonga is an annual event where people offer money to the church to convey their thanks and appreciation to their Lord for His abundance of blessing in various facets of life. The money collected from the offerings will also assist church operations. The college church offering yesterday was chaired by Lord Reverend Tu'afitu, the Honourable Minister for Land, Survey and Natural Disasters. Seattle Theological College is divided into 10 to 11 sub-communities, with 3 communities collecting more than 100,000 pa'anga. 4 sub-communities collected more than 200,000 pa'anga, while 3 communities collected approximately 300,000 pa'anga, totaling up to the 2.33 million pa'anga collected yesterday. This is the very first time that any church in the kingdom has collected more than 2 million pa'anga through their church offering, and another historical achievement for the Free Wesleyan Church of Tonga. Meanwhile, the Misinale program also paid tribute to church members that passed away this year, including the former principal of the college, the late Reverend Dr. Devita Tonga college lecturer Reverend Isaiah Vaamutou, student Balavita Puelwelu, and 2 other mothers of the college, Dala Ofanusi and La Dulenati, who all passed away during the conference year 2021-2022. Meanwhile, the significance of the college offering this year is the commemoration of college principal Reverend Dr. Henry Taliaini Meitolu completing his tenure and taking up a new role as the Director of Spiritual Services of the Church and the Evangelism Unit following the Church's 98th conference in recent weeks. As such, Reverend Dr. Paula Nofelatu, who was the Deputy Principal, is now the new Principal, while Reverend Dr. Sioeli Kavafalawaipulu will serve as the new Deputy Principal. Also in attendance at yesterday's event were Right Honourable Reverend Dr. Devita Koloaiahavea, the President of the Free Wesleyan Church, and distinguished guest. As a result of the college hard labour to achieve this great offering, the President has granted a one-day break for the students in recognition of the sacrifice for the Church. Seattle Theological College was established in 1948 by Her late Majesty Queen Salome Tupo III with the motto of "Through grace and Christ we achieve eternity." They will celebrate the 75th anniversary next year with the 2 million pa'anga collected in its church offering designated to various development projects and plans of the college. The National Emergency Management Office, or NEMO, is strengthening and empowering all relevant stakeholders, including the Tonga National Youth Congress, on what they should do before a disaster strikes, during and after a disaster. Last week, the National Emergency Management Office held their annual training program for all relevant stakeholders to address their appropriate actions in natural disaster and what equipment they should be using if there is any issue during a disaster or after a disaster. Mark Ake takes up that story.
Speaking to Radio and Television Tonga News, the director of the National Emergency Management Office, or NEMO, Mafua Maka, says the capability of youth in preparedness for a natural disaster is sorely needed, as they have the strong energy and capability in each of their respective communities. Maka says the youth need to use their capability to contribute to homes that are not strong enough, especially homes with elderlies, those with disabilities, and anyone who needs assistance. NEMO's hope is to empower youth to use their abilities to help within their communities and ensure the safety of the people. Not only that, but to reduce any damage that may occur to their properties and their homes, but most importantly, ensuring that no life will be lost. Included in this training was Tonga Police, His Majesty's Armed Forces, Ministry of Fire and Emergency Services, and Tonga Red Cross Society, among other relevant stakeholders. With a few more weeks before the next tropical cyclone season begins, NEMO hopes to remind all relevant stakeholders on what equipment should be used when a problem arises during or after a disaster, and also what actions should be done before a disaster strikes. However, the next tropical cyclone season, 2022-2023, begins in November and will run until April next year.
Tonga has experienced heavy rain since last Friday, with more than 100 millimeters recorded on the rain gauges in Tongatapu. This comes as a blessing after a long period of drought throughout the country. Alice Tupo will give us the latest update on that story.
This heavy rain is moving slowly to all parts of Tonga today, and it will continue to bring cloudy condition, strong to damaging gale force winds, heavy occasional rain and thunderstorms. A gale warning remains in force for Tongatapu and Ewa land areas, but it is downgraded to a strong wind warning for Hawaii land areas. A strong wind warning remains in force for the Niue's and Vava'o land areas. Speaking to Radio and Television Tonga News, the Deputy Director of Tonga Meteorological Services, Laite Fifita, says that a gale warning and heavy damaging swell remain in force for Hawaii, Tongatapu, Ewa, Telekitonga and the Telekitokelau coastal waters. A strong wind warning remains in force for the Niue's and Vava'o coastal waters. He adds that a small craft advisory remains in force for all of Tonga coastal waters. In collecting data from automatic weather stations across Tonga over the weekend up to this morning, we have recorded a wind gust of 35 to 36 knots. The highest wind gusts of 42 knots or 84 kilometers per hour if you are driving was recorded at Gaufana Airport at Ewa. According to rain gauges, there are good results of rainfall as reported from the past 3 days, and our office is looking to downgrade the drought warning that was released in previous months to all of Tonga's land areas. The Office of Tonga Meteorological Services is approximately that this heavy rain will start to ease on Wednesday and continue on to the rest of the weekend. It is understood we are currently on the drought season as it began from May and will complete this month. Tonga will start its cyclone season on the 1st of November until the 30th of April next year. In the meantime, Tonga is still going on in the La Nina season, and this has been 3 consecutive years of La Nina season. Reporting for Radio and Television Tonga News, I'm Alice Tupo.
And the National Reserve Bank of Tonga urges members of the public to be extra cautious when receiving Tongan pa'anga in light of the recent discoveries of counterfeit banknotes in 20, 50 and 100 pa'anga denominations. These counterfeit banknotes are usually of poor quality and can be spotted quite easily if people take the time for a quick examination. The Reserve Bank is concerned that there could be more of these counterfeit notes in circulation. Mark Ake with the detail.
The National Reserve Bank of Tonga remind the public to always check and look for genuine 20 paanga, 50 and 100 paanga. When holding a banknote up to the light, they will be able to see a watermark portrait of His Majesty King Dupo VI, together with a lighter area reading NRBT. Not only that, but a shiny thread appears at intervals on the surface of the 20 paanga banknote and changes color green to red when the banknote is tilted. When the banknote is held up to the light, they will be able to see the text NRBT in the thread. In the 20 and 100 paanga banknotes, a shiny thread shows as a window on the observer side of the banknote, showing the national medal. When the 50 and 100 paanga banknotes are held up to the light, there is a much wider silver thread and shows as a solid line together with the images of the national medal. There is also a clear window visible in the center of these banknotes. The act of counterfeiting, passing on, or being in possession of counterfeit notes is a serious offense, and anyone caught will be prosecuted.
Sports is up next with Mark Ake, proudly sponsored by Pacific Timber and Hardware.
Tonga's handball national teams are training hard for future tournaments, with the earliest being held this December. The team held an exhibition performance at the Atele Indoor Stadium last Saturday to showcase the progress, skills, and the talents of the players. The Tonga handball national coach, Sawa Moharam, told Radio and Television Tonga Sports that 2 teams are booked to fly out to the Cook Islands for their first ever tournament.
We already booked our ticket to go on the 1st of December to the Cook Island. We nearly going to announce actually the under 18 and the under 21 team maybe this week. Doing really well, so proud of all the Tongan boys and girls. It's so excited. Just you can feel everyone is happy, and I can tell that handball is going to be big.
Moharam added that the biggest thing the team has going for them is heart.
Okay, to be honest, the first of all, and I noticed I coached before another countries, another teams. To be honest, the heart, the first thing really striking me, the heart. Your boys and girls, they've got a strong heart. When you say to them, you know what, we're trying to make a team to play for Tonga, I feel like I'm standing in front of a lion straight away. Yes, and they work hard from the beginning till the end. They work really hard. So what I have with you guys, and I can see big difference in just 2 months. I've got a team. Like I'm saying, I keep getting messages from Australia, from New Zealand, from Cook Island, talking about you guys. You only started in 2 months. Is the commitment. When you do something, you're doing it from your heart. I just say, we're doing it for Tonga, and like I say, I feel like I'm standing in front of the lions, you know. So, and the other thing as well, you are athletes. You are a sporty nation as well. It's not just rugby, but I can tell. I've got 2-3 players in the team, boys teams. They used to play volleyball. They doing great in handball, great. So yeah, well done. Everyone is absolutely brilliant.
Moharam talked about the opportunity handball provides to local talents.
You know, like everyone knows, you know, all the national teams for Tonga, they all live overseas. You know I have respect for everyone, but what I'm saying is I just feel it like we have something big here. Now we have the whole national team, 2 teams, under 18 and under 21. All of them local boys live on the island. They're gonna fly all together from here to present Tonga out there. I think this is the big thing actually. They're all local boys. They're going to school here. They train in Tonga, and now they're gonna fly together out of here as a national team to present Tonga. I think this is a big thing actually.
Tonga's under 18 and under 21 teams will face countries such as Australia, New Zealand, Fiji, and American Samoa in the Cook Islands on the 1st of December.
That wraps up this evening's news package, but before we part, here's one final look at today's top stories. Today marks the official launch of TechSweek 2022 with the theme Scaling Up Digital Transformation for a Prosperous Tonga. Tongan community in Australia donates up to 44 containers of relief packages to assist Tonga following the two natural disasters in January and is worth approximately to 5 million pa'anga. And Seattle Theological College becomes the first church in Tonga to collect 2 million pa'anga from its annual church offering events. And that's it for tonight. Thank you for your company. I'm Vahafanoa Tupola. Good evening.